everyone, welcome to iExamB. In this video, I am going to discuss the remaining questions of decision making. We started a series of the 50 most important MCQs. This is part 3 and the last part before your exam for decision making. You will be able to download the complete file for all the 50 questions from the description box of this particular video. In my last part 2, I had asked a question, the propensity of a decision maker to be influenced by the manner in which the information is presented to him or her is known as which kind of bias? Many of you had correctly replied in the comments box of that video. The answer is framing bias. It is about how the information is presented to you which helps you to make a decision. Say for example, if I tell you that last year in decision making, majority of the students missed the qualifying and were not able to meet the overall cutoff for phase 1. Your decision will be that decision making is very difficult subject. However, if I say that the cutoff for decision making was only 1.25 marks from out of 10 questions, you will not find it difficult. So how the information is framed and presented to you and then what decision you make is what we know as the framing bias. Let me also discuss the questions that have been given in the information handout for NABARD. Last week the information handout had come. So they have given 2 sample questions from decision making. The first question relates to the factors that have an impact on the decision making, and which of these factors, it was asked, is environmental factors, right? So first option was organizational politics, managerial perception, government legislation, policies and procedures, and organizational hierarchy. If we notice, all the other aspects like organizational politics, managerial perception, policies and procedures, and organizational hierarchy are factors inside the organization. So they are like internal factors. The only external factor, which here they have also referred to as the environmental factor, referring to not the environment or the green environment, but the environment or the external setup in which the organization exists. So that we can see the only factor external is government legislation. The second question here was related to bias. Okay, so one of the biases here they had asked, there are several individual level factors that influence decision making, right? So we know that there are cognitive constraints, there are biases, there are judgment errors, because humans are making decisions, so they have certain factors impacting their decision making. So one such factor is that people often tend to continue to make risky decisions when they feel responsible for the sunk cost, time, money, effort spent on a project. So if we know what we mean by sunk cost or time or money is basically something you have already incurred, okay, in the past, and in future you cannot go and change them, right? So when we are doing that and we are always worried about how much effort, time we have already spent and money we have spent in the past, we find it difficult to let go of that decision. We find it difficult to let go of that particular path, because we keep thinking of the past efforts that have been going into it, and therefore we keep continuing even after realizing that this is too risky and this is not going to benefit us. So what is this concept called? This is known as escalation of committed. You are so committed to that particular decision or path that you become blind to looking at the factual aspects or the that there is no utility in continuing it. So these were the questions in the handout that were there. We will continue with our series to discuss the remaining questions. So the first question today for you is, non-program decisions are most likely to be made by which level of management? Is it lower management, middle, top, supervisory, or floor management? The correct answer here is top level management. Non-program decisions are decisions which relate to unstructured kind of problems or crisis kind of problems, and therefore these are made by the top management. Next question, which of the following is not an attribute of useful information in decision making? So when we are talking about the information that we need for analyzing the alternatives and coming at a decision, what kind of information that should be. It should be accessible, of course. Until unless it is accessible, we will not be able to use it in decision making. It should be timely, right? If it is available to us much later, which is after taking the decision, then it has no utility. It should be relevant to help us in decision making progress. Should it be ambiguous? By ambiguous we mean it is vague. If it is vague information, how will it help us in decision making? And it should be factual. So yes, factual information is needed. So the not an attribute, the correct answer is ambiguous, because this is vague, uncertain kind of information, and this will not help but hamper decision making. Next question, as per the behavioral theory of decision making given by Herbert Simon. So two things you can remember, behavioral theory, and this is given by Herbert Simon. There are three essential stages in the act of problem solving and decision making. So he gave a 3-stage method. What did he call the stage that relates to deciding the criteria by which to make decisions? So in the process of decision making, knowing the criteria, identifying and stating the criteria is an important step. What did he call in his theory this stage? The correct answer is design. So he gave 3 stages: intelligence, which relates to collecting the various information that you are going to use in decision making. The next stage is design, where you are deciding the criteria by which you are going to make decisions by analyzing the alternatives against it and analyzing the information you have collected. And then finally you make the choice. Okay, that is choosing the alternative, that is basically taking the decision. Next question, decision making is a high level cognitive process based on cognitive processes and cognitive skills. Which of the following is not a cognitive skill? Perception, sustained attention, memory, pattern recognition, and age. So cognitive skills are basically your mental ability to process and understand information, okay, and use that in decision making. So which of these is not a cognitive skill? If you understand cognitive skill, the answer is simple, it is age. Age is not a cognitive skill, it's not a mental ability related aspect. Your perception, your sustained attention, how you are perceiving things, how you are paying attention to that, and you're able to apply and pay attention to the information, how much you can remember and connect, and how much you can recognize the pattern, something that you do in your reasoning, that all helps in finding the cognitive skills. Next question, which of the following is a non-programmed decision? So we just discussed what is non-programmed decision. It is something which is non-recurring in nature, which is unstructured, which is not something in a routine sense, right? So which of them is a non-programmed decision? Issuing raw material from the store. Now this is everyday operational work of the company, so this will not be a non-programmed. Allowing discounts to regular customers. Again, these are regular decisions every day which the salespeople may be making with their in their company. Purchasing a new technology machinery from Europe for the new factory. Now we have to think, do we make such decision every day? Next is promoting an employee after the performance appraisal process. So appraisal process has happened, and as per the appraisal process, whatever the rules are, we are doing that. So we are following rules. We don't have to undergo something which is not happening on a regular basis or which is not defined. Okay, so the correct answer here is purchasing a new technology machinery, because this is something which we don't do on a regular basis. It requires a lot of investment and has long-term implications. Okay, so the correct answer is C. So I hope these questions are helping you to understand the concept so that you are able to solve all kinds of questions. That is what we aim at, and that is what our courses focus on, to help you unfold your own potential to perform at the best of your ability. So take advantage of these. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is a creative problem solving technique that focuses on cultivating creative thinking, and often among small groups of individuals with diverse experience and skills? Is it linear programming, PERT, CPM, synectics, or intuition? The correct answer is synectics. Synectics is one of the techniques. It is a qualitative technique in decision making, which encourages creative, out of the box, different kind of thinking to come up with solutions for various kind of problems. What does PERT and CPM mean? We have discussed one question related to full form of PERT. That time I also told about CPM. Please write in the comments box what these full forms, what is the full form of these two terms. Next question, the tendency to blame others when things go wrong instead of looking objectively at the situation is known as which kind of bias? The correct answer is attribution, where we are attributing or blaming whatever the things have happened and gone wrong to something else and the benefit to ourselves. Next question, which of the following statement is incorrect? Decision making involves the selection of a course of action from among two or more possible alternatives. Remaining neutral is not a decision making. Decision making is an important part of planning function of management. Decision making is a mental process, or all of these statements are correct. The correct answer here is B. Remaining neutral is not decision making. This is incorrect because remaining neutral, you are choosing to remain neutral. That is also, you have taken a decision to remain neutral. So it is a decision making. Question 44. The decisions that relate to mundane activities and do not require much thought are known as major decisions, tactical decisions, programmed decisions, non-programmed decisions, or higher order decisions. A simple direct question. I think everybody of you would have been able to solve this. The answer is programmed decisions. Question 45. Which of the following is not a quantitative technique of decision making? Is it decision tree, Pareto analysis, marginal analysis, cost benefit analysis, or are all of them quantitative techniques of decision making? Correct answer is all of them are quantitative techniques of decision making, where you are using some kind of numbers, measurements, probabilities to come at a logical decision at the end of that analysis. Question 46. A manager may do SWOT analysis to evaluate various alternatives and make a decision. What does T in SWOT stand for? A very simple question again. Is it time, technique, trust, threat, or terminal? The correct answer is threat. So SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Question 47. After a below normal monsoon season, the farmers suffered loss in the actual harvest for the year. The government released a relief package for the farmers of such regions. This is which type of a decision taken by the government? Is it a reactive decision, a proactive decision, an intuitive decision, a programmed decision, or an unsystematic decision? The correct answer is reactive. When after the happening of an event, a decision has been taken. The happening of the event here was loss suffered because of a poor harvest. So in reaction to that calamity and event, the government took a decision to give relief package. So it was a reactive decision. Question 48. The Delphi technique of decision making was developed by which of the following? Daniel Kahneman, Aaron Katzenberg-Boygan, Herbert Simon, Amos Tversky, or Olaf Helmer. The correct answer is Olaf Helmer, along with Norman Delphi at Rand Corporation, were the people who developed this Delphi technique way back in 1950. We have discussed in previous videos what is Delphi technique. I hope you all remember that. Otherwise, you can watch the videos again to revise. Question 49. An employee forgoes promotion to avoid transfer to another city. This is a type of which of the following decisions? An irrational decision, an organizational decision, a personal decision, an unsystematic decision, or a group decision. Again, a simple question. This is a personal decision that employee has taken because of his own personal reasons. The last question. Which of the following decision-making style has low tolerance for ambiguity and is task-oriented? In my previous video, I had discussed about the 4 key decision-making styles based on 2 parameters, the tolerance for ambiguity and the orientation towards work and people. So based on that, this is known as the directive style. The other styles analytical are more focused. They are also task oriented, but they have high tolerance for ambiguity. Conceptual has high tolerance for ambiguity, but they are people oriented. And behavioral is when you have low tolerance for ambiguity and you are people oriented in making decisions. So this is the end of the series. As I mentioned, you can download for revision, and wishing you all the best for your NABARD Grade A exam. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. Thank you.